I've never seen anything. You guys?
No,
Never seen anything like
let's
it.
take a
It's,
picture.
well, they also call it virtual
Yeah.
reality, you know, where you can move your phone around and look at it.
Oh, we do. We're calling him these. So, these guys don't bite ever far. Well, first of all, if the general were to join us for dinner, he'd take one look at that primer roast and he'd send it right back to the kitchen. First of all, he would not eat any game or fowl whatsoever, only beef. Then it had to be very, very, very well done. In fact, as Cook said, the closer it came to burning it, the better Grant seemed to like it. So, the beautiful silvers, the silver the Grant used during the White House years, dishes of original Haberlin china. The Grants had made special for their daughter's wedding in the White House. Ellen, her nickname was Nellie, was married during his second presidential term. Great big elaborate affair. She was the first one in 32 years to be married in the White House. 27-course meal for the wedding. Can you imagine? It took hours or so. But Mrs. Grant was known for always having 25, 30-course meals at her dinner parties at the White House. She loved to entertain, and she was very, very good at it. So. Let's see, plate you see on the sideboard, that's a reproduction of the presidential china, and that's quite interesting. Each piece has a different flower. Now, when you go into our next building, our exhibit building, you'll see several pieces of that, plus 13 other presidential china reproductions. We also have several other exhibits out there, one being presidential pets. You will be amazed at the number and the types of pets these presidents had. Anything from alligator to zebra and anything in between. So be sure and stop out. I think you'll enjoy it. Now, another gift the Grants received on their world tour is a urn table in the far right-hand corner. The urn is bronze, the table is teakwood. That was given to Mrs. Grant by the citizens of Yokohama, Japan. Portrait above the fireplace, there's a Mrs. Grant. Her main name was Dent, Julia Boggs Dent. Originally from St. Louis, Missouri, stood 5 feet tall, wore a size 4 shoe, average size for a woman back then. Well educated, boarding, finishing school, very, very popular, one of our more popular first ladies. In fact, she was the first lady to be called First Lady. Only it was First Lady of the land, shortened after her, just First Lady. First Lady to have her own press secretary, release her own news items. Very good friends with Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. All for women's rights, way before it was popular. So she was part of that movement too. And First Lady to write her autobiography. However, it's not published until several years after she passed. So, but I think a lady very much ahead of her time. So. These folks here up to your left, these are the General's parents, Jesse and Hannah Grant. As I said, they owned a tanning farming business in Ohio. They were abolitionists. In fact, old Mr. Grant, they were very, very staunch abolitionists, very set in his thinking. Now on the far side, Julia's parents, Ellen and Frederick Dent. Now they owned a 1,000-acre plantation in St. Louis, Missouri. They also owned 20 slaves. And of course, Mr. Dent was set in his way of thinking. So you can imagine a confrontation between those two. In fact, the Grants were so upset to think that their son was married into a slave-owning family, they refused to attend the wedding at the plantation. And even years later, after Grant was elected president, and those two gentlemen would happen to be at the White House at the same time, they actually had to keep them in separate areas. They never, ever did see eye to eye. So no close family dinners there. Now the middle one, of course, is of the Grant family. From left to right, Ellen, the only daughter, Jimbo Grant, Jesse, the youngest, Frederick, the oldest, Ulysses Jr., and Julia out front. And these are all reproductions in here, folks. Any questions? No?
Are the shades native to that time period then, to the
Yes,
original?
yes. If you look on that sketch right there, you can see them. So we can't call them an exact duplicate, but they're so close.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah, and they fit into today's decor, really, so.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Well, next I invite you upstairs to see the bedrooms. There's plaques up there that'll tell you about the children's lives. Do come down the back stairs to see the rest of the home. Please be careful, back sits our little steamer. I'll meet you back there, folks. Thank you. Yep. Right up the stairs to your right there.
Take care.
It's original 1800, but it is not original. This piano belongs to the yellow house. Her family and the Grants were very good friends, knowing of the similarities to the past, but in the very past. Behind you, baby. Black furniture is covered.
Jackson room. Jesse Root Grant's room.
Which one is this?
Grant Jr.'s room. Yep.
Which one is this?
Says right there.
One does have in the Capitol building, another in the White House. This one here is ended up someplace in Iowa.
That's a ghastly picture.
And it has been hanging in their banquet room up at the top of the hill here.
The oldest son's room. Oldest son's room. So, President Grant is in his wife's room.
His house is nicer than
Yeah. A lot nicer.
Oh, this is a gift. Lincoln's house.
So small. Hey. In Springfield, Illinois, they have Lincoln's house, which is very similar to this.
Mm.
This is Ellen Grant, the daughter. Excuse me.
Did you enjoy the upstairs?
That was nice.
Good.